kicking your butt today, or I'm going to be kicking her butt.
Probably.
But today's workout, our equipment, everything is going to have a kettlebell involved in it. So just a similar object. I think every exercise you can use some sort of dumbbell as well in exchange for the kettlebell, or a gallon jug or laundry detergent jug.
Get
so
creative.
Grab your weight. We do have a variety, so if you have a couple objects that one's a little lighter than and the other and a heavier one, I'd suggest just getting both of those because a couple of the exercises you'll just want a different weight for them. But George's going to take you away with a little warm-up.
All right. We're just going to kick it old school with the hip flow. So we'll go ahead and start with rolling our neck side to side. Just feeling a nice stretch there. I'm pretty tired this morning, so we'll just start nice and easy with this one. Good. Now we'll roll our shoulders backwards. Awesome. All right. Hands on hips. We'll trace 6 giant circles. Doing the hula hoop. Go ahead and reverse. Remember, this is the best part of the workout, so we're going to enjoy it. Just do some tall reaches. Oops. 6 of these. Try to get up on the balls of the feet and press those fingertips up to the sky. Good. All right, let's head down to the floor, to your mat. I'm going to start in a downward dog position. Press back. Come forward, open up through the chest. Twist if you need. On this one, go ahead and raise your right heel. Step it through as far as you can. Can't get it quite to the hands, that's all right. You can pick your foot up, move it there. We'll take our right hand to right knee. Let's press out 6 times. Good. Drive the right elbow into the chest. Rotate hand up to the sky. Keep an eye on that hand. Good. Now keep that right foot in the same position. And that left foot will be pointed 90 degrees away. We'll lunge over each foot, twisting our torso. I know I'm going to have a tough workout when the warm-up is hard. So today will be a tough one for me. All right. Bring the hands right back where they were on either side of the foot, and we'll drop that left hip down and around. Good. Back to downward dog. Take a little break here. In the chest. Push back, really push through those heels. Forward again. Good. This time we'll lift the left heel. Step it through. We'll go ahead and put left hand on left knee and press out. Now we'll drive that left elbow into the chest, hand up to the sky. Good. Now leaving that left foot planted this time. We'll stand up, find our balance, lunge over the left foot, and then back over the right. Going for 6 over each. Just make sure you twist that torso the full 90 degrees while we're doing this. Hands back down, and we'll drop that right hip down and around. And to finish this up, we'll go back into downward dog. And we'll do 3 of these. And then we'll get launched into the workout. All right, gang. Do your worst.
All right. So our first one are going to be kettlebell side squats. So for this one, you're going to have your weight just up on one shoulder. Yeah. So it's kind of flipped around Georgia's wrist, resting on her forearm and her bicep. So she's going to side squat to one side, back to center, and we're going to go, you want to go a full minute or full minute on one side, and then we're going to switch the weight onto the other arm and lunge to the other side.
What's the worst that could happen?
All right, then kettlebell split swing. So this one's a little tricky. There's some important aspects that we're going to do. So think of a normal kettlebell swing, except when Georgia comes up, she's driving that back heel to the ground. So as that kettlebell's down, her heel will be raised off the ground, her knees bent, that back knee's bent a little, and then she comes, a little slow motion, that knee really powerfully drives to the ground, and that's going to help activate that glute. So that's the most important thing there, is bringing that heel to the ground, activating that glute. Third exercise is kettlebell twist and press. So a little more core exercise here. This one, so it's like a Russian twist, left, then right, and then Georgia's going to press up and then twist to the left side again.
Oops, I should have gone to the right.
So it's basically that Russian twist that we do with the medicine ball a lot, but we're adding in extra press there, get those arms burning a little more. Then we're going right into a plank with a kettlebell pull through. So Georgia's in a plank position. She's going to reach with her opposite hand and pull that weight through. Yep, just like that. A modification for this one is actually being up in more of like a push-up position. If being on your elbows is a little uncomfortable, and pulling that weight through. So you really want to focus on keeping those hips square, not rocking them back and forth.
I may have to do that. We'll see.
Fifth exercise today, we're going to do a kettlebell skater curtsy. So I'm going to move to the side a little. Georgia's going to be hopping from one foot to the other. She's going to do a single leg squat or curtsy squat, because she's going to cross that back leg over, tap the kettlebell on the ground, hop to the other foot. All right, and then we'll do 2 minutes of cardio, and we'll take a 2-minute rest. So all our exercises today are a minute or a minute each side with a 15-second rest.
Cool.
All right.
Ooh, just demoing that was hard.
Yeah, we'll start in about 15 seconds, so grab your kettlebell, and remember we're starting with our side squats or side lunges.
Whatever you want to call it.
All right, 2, 1, begin. All right, so Georgia's taking a nice big step out to the right side. She's keeping her weight back on her heels, sticking her hips nice and far back. Back is nice and straight.
Who decided a minute on these?
I mean, we got it on video. I
Right.
asked you. No, we're halfway, so you guys you're doing fine.
We're good.
So Georgia's doing a really good job at, when she steps out, she's taking a nice good step all the way back to the center. So she's not dragging that foot at all. She's actually it takes a little explosiveness, a little power to actually step back to center. So if you're dragging that foot back, really try to step all the way back. Now, a good modification is obviously to lose the weight. Just doing a side lunge is tricky in itself. All right, we're gonna take 15 seconds in between. Let that arm shake out.
That sounds
Let
good.
that leg shake
I think
out.
that's the hardest part for me, is holding the weight.
Yeah.
To be honest.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, begin. Yeah, so with that weight, really just making sure, if you're using a kettlebell, that it's right behind your wrist and that elbow is staying up. Using something with a handle is probably a little easier than like a dumbbell, so even like a gallon jug might be easier to hold on to. A dumbbell might be a little trickier to hold and have that elbow stay nice and high. There we go. And remember, as you're lunging to the side, those hips are going back. So you're getting nice and low. If that arm is getting tired, it's a little too much, you can grab that kettlebell, that weight that you have with both hands, and just keep it towards your chest and be lunging to the side. And time.
Nice.
All right, little break. We're going into our kettlebell split swings. So we're going a minute each side here as well. All right, 2, 1, begin. Walk on the table, come on over. All right, really just want you guys to see how Georgia's bringing that heel all the way to the ground every time she swings that kettlebell up. So as she's down, she's bending those knees, coming down into almost like a little squat, and then powerfully using momentum to swing that kettlebell up, driving that heel to the ground, and activating her glutes, that right glute specifically.
And I really try to tuck that tailbone to keep my low back straight at the top.
So it's really, some people might look at this and think, we're working our arms quite a bit, which we are a little, but Georgia's using most of her momentum to bring that weight and that kettlebell up. So your arms shouldn't be dead at the end of this exercise. All right, little rest. Make sure we switch sides. Georgia's switching directions, so don't get a little confused. You can just simply switch your stance that you have.
That's why you guys to be able to see that back foot.
Yep.
The good foot.
1, begin. And again, if you just have a dumbbell, you can use that instead of the kettlebell. Just hold it by one of the heads, one of the ends of the dumbbell. And this one, don't be discouraged if it takes a couple reps, a round or two to really master it. I remember the first time, I think Cam gave this to me, I was just like, what? I don't understand, bringing my heel to the ground. I couldn't get that glute activated, but after the first round or so, I actually, was able to master it. So take this first round and really just focus on that form. Don't worry about how many reps you get or even the rhythm that you have. Just make sure you're doing it properly. Got about 10 seconds left. Get the last few reps in.
Yeah, these are a Cam special. That's where I got them from too.
All right, time. Going into our core, so hopping on the ground with our kettlebell, twists, and press.
It's too quiet, I can hear
2, 1, begin. I feel like you thought we were going to start sooner than we did because you had your feet elevated already, and I was like, I still got 8 seconds.
Thanks for not telling me and just letting me keep my
I just
feet
figured
up.
you would put them down. But this is good. So Georgia has her feet elevated off the ground right now, which is the harder way to do it. So simply, if this is getting a little too tricky, place those feet on the ground. It'll give you a lot more balance. Your core won't be taking as much strength to be engaged. But if it's too easy, definitely have those feet elevated off the ground. And really make sure you're getting that full rotation with the twist. Georgia has a nice, very controlled tap on the ground. And I really encourage all my clients to tap the ball on the ground. Don't miss it by a couple inches, because getting that extra inch or two all the way to the ground, I think makes a huge difference.
And I like to look at it too.
All right, staying on the ground, we're going plank with a kettlebell pull through. All right, 5 seconds. 2, 1, begin. Yeah, so there's a couple different variations with this one. We demonstrated before, you can do it on your elbows or up on your palms. I personally prefer this method up in a push-up position. And if you have a heavy kettlebell or weight, I think I've used up to 45 pounds or 45-pound kettlebell, dragging that through.
Way to make me feel like a win.
But you really have to make sure you're keeping those hips square. So if you're I also probably didn't do it for a minute. Probably did like 8 reps or something on each side. But keep those hips really square. If you have a heavier weight and you're pulling it through, but you're finding yourself compensating and twisting those hips, lower the weight. And you'll notice that Georgia is dragging that weight, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to pick the weight up and move it. You're simply just dragging it on the ground. And time. All right. Next one are those skaters with the curtsy lunge. All right. 5 seconds. 2, 1, begin. So hopping to one foot, right into a curtsy lunge. And then almost like a pistol squat going down to tap that kettlebell on the ground. There we go, nice and controlled. They don't need to be big hops if you have a limited space. Like Georgia's kind of limited back here in the dojo today with the table. So her hops aren't quite as big as they might usually be. But if you want to challenge yourself, the bigger the hop you take, obviously the harder it is to balance on that single leg and get that curtsy squat. But due to your own ability, especially if you really want that lower impact, the smaller jumps you take, the less impact we'll have. And you can also do it without the weight. Even just tapping the ground with your hands would be great. All right, little break. We're going into our 2 minutes of cardio. So the first one, we're just gonna do, the first one, We're gonna do some split jacks, basically. All right, ready and begin. So, almost like running. We're just kind of like skipping back and forth, yeah. So it's really similar actually to our split jumping jacks that we do sometimes. Georgia's just keeping those arms in as if she was running a little more. You can extend those arms out and just get a greater range of motion as well. But she's staying on the balls of her feet, being really bouncy, one right after the other. There we go, doing awesome guys, 10 seconds left. Alright, that's a minute there, and we're going into a minute of hopping out, so some wide outs is what I typically call them. Ready, 2, 1, begin. So again, similar to a jumping jack, except we're just kind of getting rid of the arm aspect of it, and we're just hopping those feet out. Georgia has a slight bend in her knees, so she's staying in a little bit of a squat position, get those legs a little more.
Hear the water that I drank before this.
Sloshing around.
Yep.
Gotta stay hydrated. Alright, make sure you're keeping that heart rate up.
It's up.
Almost there. 15 seconds left, so if you can pick up the pace just a little, get that heart rate just a little higher, go for it. 5 seconds. And time.
Whew.
All right, 2-minute rest, and we'll be back with some trivia.
Maybe to you guys
Ooh.
it's reversed and it looks like 51.
No, it's 15. Don't let her fool you.
You know for sure.
All right, round 2 will start in about 5 seconds
Oh gosh.
with those side squats or lunges. Ready, begin. All right, and like always, round 2 is a little more fun because we get some trivia going on.
Take our mind off the pain a little bit.
Yeah. So I always, I've known for a while that one of Georgia's little, I don't know if it's a life goal, but something she aspires to do is always travel the entire PCT.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, easy one, what does PCT stand for?
It stands for Pacific Crest Trail. So it goes from Mexico all the way up to Canada. So it goes through California, Oregon, and Washington. I used to live literally 5 miles from where the trail crossed from Oregon to Washington, actually.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Georgia will one day do it.
I will.
So yeah, first real question. So you knew roughly where the most southern point was, but do you know exactly where the town that the southern point starts in?
Not even remotely.
All right, we're gonna get the other
Is it a town
side
in California?
in 3 seconds. Yep. 2, 1, begin. Make sure you switch that weight onto the other arm. So it starts just south of Campo, California.
Okay, I would not have known.
Do you know what the most
I
northern
knew you were gonna
point
ask.
is?
I feel like this one I actually used to know.
Make sure you keep that elbow up. George's is
Oh gosh.
sagging down a
Because
little.
it's heavy. 51 pounds is heavy. I know it's up past Bellingham. I'm not really sure. But I know it.
I don't know where Bellingham is.
Very, very far north in Washington. It's like,
Okay.
but it's still like I think like an hour maybe from Canada. So.
Okay. So it's actually, it goes into Canada.
Right.
So
okay.
it's not even in, the end point's not even, the most
Is
northern
it
point's,
Vancouver?
so it's in British Columbia.
Well, that's
So
not the
it's,
town.
yeah, okay. So it's,
So it's probably
it's on the
Vancouver.
edge of Manning Park in British Columbia is where it ends.
Okay.
So we're going into our kettlebell split swings. So where we're driving that heel to the ground in 2, 1, begin. So you already mentioned this, but what were the 3 states that it passes through?
California, Oregon, and Washington.
Yeah.
So I've got to be.
Come to this side, so I'm not talking to the back of your head.
Sounds good. So I've actually been on a lot of the trail in Oregon and Washington. Just pieces, not like
Yeah.
any type of state-long hike.
Yeah. No, it's kind of, I got all these questions, kind of like looking at it and just like saw these pictures of the trail and stuff, and I was like, man, I want to do this. Like, this is it's gorgeous.
Me.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's very, very beautiful. The places on it that I've seen.
Yeah.
Very green.
So basically, it goes from Mexico border, the border of the U.S. and Mexico, into Canada. So how far is the actual trail in miles? We're just gonna switch sides here, just a little rest.
Doing my good side because I'm growing my hair out over on this side, so I'm not going to show you guys that.
I don't know if you have a good side.
Rude!
All right, ready, begin.
I want to say it's in the neighborhood of 2,700 miles.
Ooh, really close.
Yeah.
Really close. So it's 2,653 miles
Right.
long. So
Yep.
yeah, you're 47 miles off.
Yep, I have studied it.
All right. Do you know what the elevation change is? So both up and down.
Like throughout the whole
In
thing.
feet. Yep, throughout the whole thing.
Shoot, no. It's got to be insane. I imagine it's over 30,000 feet.
Oh yeah,
70,000 feet?
hundreds of thousands.
No!
Yep. So change. So this is also, you could split the difference. You cut it in half, and that's, half of it's elevation gain, and half of this number is elevation loss.
Oh.
So it's change.
400,000.
Time. Alright, we're going into our kettlebell twist and press. So 400,000 is pretty close. It's 420,000.
Okay.
Alright, 2, 1, begin. So that's feet in elevation change. So if you cut that in half, it's about 210 feet of elevation gain.
210,000?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, did I say that right? 210,000
I was like, wait.
feet of elevation gain over 2,600 miles.
Wow.
Which I wonder what that is per. I can't do math right now.
No.
Per mile.
Well, and it's so deceptive too because you go through some mountain ranges, so that's really gonna skew it. But then there are flatter spots too.
Yeah, but yeah, you're climbing or you're like going down. So what is the highest point?
Is it McKinley?
No.
Shasta? Is it a peak in California?
I believe so. I didn't look exactly where it was. Time.
Wait. Whitney? No. Is that even in California? I don't have any blood in my brain right now.
Do you know how high it is? The name. I have the name and how high it actually is. So
I'm guessing it's around 10.
2,
Oh
1,
gosh.
begin. We're doing that kettlebell pull through. Georgia's gonna be on her elbows this time. So the highest point is Forester Pass. I'm not totally sure where that is.
I don't either.
But it's higher than 10,000 feet.
Oh.
Do you want another guess?
I'm guessing 11.
Higher.
12?
Higher.
What? 13?
Yeah. 13,153 feet
That's gotta be in California.
is the highest peak, yeah. What's the lowest? Lowest part, the name or the actual elevation?
It's gotta also be in California. I have no. Is it something I would know, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what this is.
Some type of valley in California.
Cascade Locks.
Oh,
I don't.
that's where the Bridge of the Gods is. I lived right by. That's right across the river from where I lived. I would definitely know that.
Alright, we're going into our kettlebell skater with curtsy lunge.
So
5 seconds.
Cascade Locks
2, 1, begin.
is on the Oregon side of the Columbia River.
Oh, so it's that far north? Well, I guess because you're.
Yeah, because that's where the river is.
Yeah. You have the
So-
river
And it's in the Columbia River Gorge, which is a pretty awesome gorge, like valley. So it makes sense. I should have thought of that. So I lived in Stevenson, Washington, which is right across the river from there.
Yeah, wow. So it's 140 feet above sea level. That's the lowest point of the PCT.
I used to live at 140 feet, and now I live up at 7,000. And I can feel it.
Alright. We got about 10 seconds left here. What 3 trails make up the Triple Crown of hiking?
So one of them's obviously the PCT.
Time. Going into our cardio now. So remember, we're going into those kind of runner hops. Yep, so one is the PCT.
Then there's the Appalachian Trail.
Appalachian.
Appalachian
2,
is actually how you
1,
say it.
begin.
I only know that because my sister lived in the Appalachians, and if you say Appalachian, they look at you like you're crazy.
No, I think that's because they're in the South and they don't say their words right.
But it is their mountain range, so I feel like they
Yeah,
got
but it's-
pronunciation on that. Anyways, tomato, tomato. And then the other one, it goes this way across the U.S., right?
I don't believe so.
Is it the Trans-Rockies?
No. Starts with a C.
Cross country trail.
No.
I
Yeah.
Divide?
Yeah. The
Oh.
Continental Divide Trail.
Okay.
So the Triple Crown
Okay, that makes sense.
of hiking, Appalachian, the PCT and the Continental Divide. Alright, going right into our wideouts, our half jumping jacks. Ready, begin. Alright, this one completely blew my mind. I did not know that this existed. So the PCT is part of a bigger loop. What loop trail
What?
is it a part of?
The North American Loop Trail.
Nope.
That just, I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd probably guess something like that too. I'd be like, well, if it's a loop, it's gotta be ginormous, so a whole.
Yeah. I have no clue.
So, it's called the Great Western Loop.
What is it? Where does it go?
Alright, so it basically, it connects a whole bunch of trails, which I'm gonna let you guess the next round.
Oh no.
We're getting we're getting into this whole loop now because it's pretty amazing how far it is and how many people have completed it and stuff. Almost there. And time.
Woo!
Alright.
One more.
2 more minutes. Rest. We'll be back.
I think I can stick with my 51 counter.
Ooh, big girl. Alright, round 3. You go the timer.
Craig. You run a little faster? Don't worry, guys. He'll be back. Little timing mishap. Nice.
I got it. Look.
I like how you actually ran the whole time.
Well, alright. We're gonna start in about 8 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. I'd get my own little workout in now. Now I'm breathing.
Adding that to your mileage.
Alright. So, we're going to get back to the Great Western Loop that we left off on, but I got a few more
I should have looked
PCT
this
questions.
up on my phone.
I got a few more PCT questions for you.
Okay.
So, how many national forests does it go through?
Oh, wow.
I'm also going to then ask you national parks.
Oh, I have no idea. 56.
No, less.
Oh, 40,
Less.
30,
Less.
20?
More.
20
So
something.
it's in the 20s. So it goes through 26 national forests, which I thought was a lot, but then you started off with 58.
Maybe I was thinking the combined national forests and parks.
So national forests. And then what about national parks?
33.
Less. So a little break, then we're going to switch legs. So it goes through 7 national parks.
Okay.
2, 1, begin. Do you know what the first national park in America was? I asked this a couple weeks ago. I forget to who. I think to Candria,
Can you tell me the state?
California. You should be able to get it.
National Park?
Yep.
Is it John Muir?
No.
Is it? I should be able to get it.
I mean, it's like one of the most famous national parks in the U.S.
Oh no.
Probably the most, well,
Got
I
my
think the
degree
Grand
in
Canyon.
recreation. I should
I think the
know
Grand
this.
Canyon is the most visited, but this is probably, second or third.
Is this in the Sierra Nevadas?
I don't want to say yes or no. I'm not sure. I've never been there.
Is it Joshua Tree?
No?
Is it something I'm gonna be really mad that I didn't get?
Yep.
Ugh. Give me a hint.
Time. Alright, there's a really famous rock face that people climb.
Oh, Yosemite.
Yep.
Duh, Georgia. That's a park?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yosemite
that makes
National Park. Alright, 3, 2, 1, begin. Alright, so the Pacific Crest Trail. What is the fastest time that a male or a female has traveled the entire distance?
I think it's like 58 days.
For what gender? you
That's the
thinking?
fastest time.
Less than that. Faster.
That must have been recent then, because that's the last time I checked, which was like 2 years ago. That was set. So I don't know, 52?
Yeah.
Okay.
52. So the fastest men's time,
Which is insane. That's like 50 plus miles a day.
which is supported, so that means they had a crew that
Yeah.
was meeting them at trailheads, resupplying them. They didn't have to carry all their gear, things like that. So supported 52 days, 8 hours, and 25 minutes. All right, switching sides.
Oh, maybe that is.
What about a female?
You know what's funny? I have no clue.
Really? So there was
Yeah.
only on the official. All right, we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, begin. So there's a website that tracks FKTs, fastest known times, and there was actually only one female that had an official FKT.
Was it supported?
Which is probably like a threshold where
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, okay, you took 500 days to do it. We're not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
count this. Like you just walked the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was supported. It was 60 days, 17 hours, and 12 minutes.
It's very impressive.
So about a week longer than the men's. But on average, what does it take, like an average person that traverses the whole?
Oh, a few
Ultra.
months, right? Like 5 or 6 months?
Takes on average 5 months
Yeah.
to do the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
that
it's pretty
sounds-
crazy that these people are doing it in 2 months basically.
Yeah.
Roughly less. Almost there. And time. Going into our kettlebell twist and press. Alright. So this is what really blew my mind, was the Great Western Loop.
Okay.
So in 2, 1, begin. So, do you know what trails the Great Western Loop
So
consists of?
PCT obviously is the Continental Divide in it?
Yep.
Okay.
It is.
Is there a trail called like, I forget the name of it, but Northwestern, it must be what connects them at the top. I can't remember it.
Yep, the Pacific Northwest Trail.
Pacific Northwest Trail. And then what connects them at the bottom? I have no idea.
So it'll go, so it goes PCT, Pacific Northwest Trail, Continental Divide, Grand Enchantment, and then the Arizona Trail.
Oh, Arizona.
Yeah, so, yeah, pretty crazy. Do you know how many miles that is?
Oh.
So I don't actually know if it will necessarily connects all the way back at the beginning, but it'll connect back to the Mexico border.
Okay.
Gotta kind of look into it a little more. All right, little break. We're going into our plank with kettlebell pull through. But so the PCT is 2,600 miles. If you were to make it a whole loop, how far do you think it is?
It's gotta be
2, 1, begin.
It's gotta be over 10, right?
No.
Really? That's shocking. I'm gonna say 9,200.
No. Less.
Wow. So the route on the PCT must take a lot more turns than on the Continental Divide, I imagine. 7 something?
A little less. That's pretty close.
Wow.
6,875 miles.
Wow.
Because you gotta think, like, it doesn't really, like, you basically are going straight up, and yeah, you do have to cut over.
But it's all the
A
way to
little bit
Montana that
in
you
the
cut
grand
over.
scheme, like, you're not cutting over all that much.
Oh, that's
From
true,
what I,
guess.
I'm not an expert on it, but, like, from what I remember
Yeah,
looking at.
I just overestimated it, I think.
Yeah. Alright, almost there. 3 seconds. Keep those hips level. And time.
Whew.
Alright, we're going into our kettlebell skater curtsies. Remember, if these are getting a little tricky, just lose the weight. Hard enough, just hopping side to side, touching the ground with your hands.
Yes, it is.
2, 1, begin. Alright, so, Great Western Loop, 6,875 miles. How many people do you think have completed it in under a year?
1.
Nope, more.
100.
No, less.
10.
You can double your first guess.
2.
2.
Oh, hey, I was pretty close then.
Only
only
two
one up.
people on record have completed it in under 1 year. So I'd say there must be an abundance of people that can do it in over a year, really taking their time. So that averages to 33 miles per day
For a long time.
for 208 days.
It's amazing.
Yeah. What, how long exactly, oh, I just said it, didn't I? I said it.
208 days.
208 days. So, we're almost done here. And time, little break, we'll go into our cardio. So, 2 people have completed it, and both of them did it in 208 days. So,
Were they together maybe? I
no,
wonder?
they weren't together. One person, the first person did it in, alright, in 2, 1, begin. I think the first person did it in like 2007 or 2008 or something, and then the second person did it in like 2018 or 2017. But the second person, so they both did it in 208 days. The second person also, while going through Colorado, did Nolan's 14ers, which is doing 14 14ers, so going to the peak of the mountain over 14,000
That
feet.
is-
So he did 14 of them, and he did that whole section, 14 14ers, in under 60 hours.
That does not make sense.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, that's. I want to look into more like how they did it. I know they started at the Grand Canyon, but I'm not sure if they.
I know I'm working out, but you're making me feel really out of shape.
You gotta come. We gotta work harder, Georgia. You want to get some
Seriously.
SKTs or something.
That's insane.
All right, time there. Going right into our whiteouts. Ready, begin. All right, remember, just stay in a little bit of a squat position. Get those glutes a little more activated.
Almost done.
Yeah, almost done. That was. I think that was every trivia question I had. So.
Nice.
Almost
Do you
done
know
that
that
perfectly.
when you're hiking it, you get like a trail name? You can't come up with your own. It has to be given to you.
I've heard something about that.
Yeah. It's like a thing.
So people that you're just hiking with, or that you pass,
Yeah.
and you camp with.
Yeah, that they get to know you and give you your trail name. Which is kind of cool.
What's the furthest, like, you've hiked? Have you done like a big
Yeah.
traverse or anything?
I did a 60-miler around the Three Sisters with my 2 sisters. So that was nice. We took 3 days. I mean, so 20 miles a day.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's the
pretty-
biggest trip I've done, but it's in there. I think I
It's up there.
did
Ah,
another one like 75-miler in the gorge.
pretty cool.
Not
All right.
2,600 miles though.
One day we'll do the PCT maybe.
One day. Training for it.
All right, great job today. We'll see you guys next time.
Good work.